I'd like to show you, I had an idea today of scrapping from an illegal dump site that's probably a quarter of a mile away from my house. And people dump all kinds of crap out there and everything else. But some of what I got today, and I was more out in the garage to deal with. But I managed to find this fair amount of copper within, like I said, about 45 minutes of searching, bringing it home, and then doing some stuff in the garage. Freed that up. Pretty good amount there. When I could have been just sitting at home on my day off doing nothing. Or doing, well, I'm always doing something, but I can be productive in other ways as well. I'm always learning things. But here we've got a couple of motors, and there's more out there. Just a couple examples of some of the transistors that I got today at this illegal site. And I've also helped clean up the little community in which I live, so that makes me feel pretty good too. And this came off of a TV somebody had smashed up out there, and it had, electrical tape all around it. It's a degaussing, I think that's what they're called, that goes around the old CRT TVs. And usually they're copper, so it'd be nice to put it in the copper pile, but this one happens to be aluminum. But I'm not upset with that. I'd rather it were copper, but aluminum's good, and it's not sitting out there anymore. I also got a couple more examples, and there's more in the garage of some of the aluminum. These antennas are aluminum. Some of the heat sinks that were coming off of the boards I found, aluminum. And this interesting sheet of aluminum here is very thin, but I've never quite seen one like that before. A few boards. These are just examples. There's more in the garage. It's just what I felt like kind of pulling apart today. And these supposedly contain gold. There's gold content in those from what I've heard. And these IC chips are pretty good. And there's several of them here. And usually pull those off and throw them into a little, right now I'm throwing them into a empty peanut container, plastic container. Here's another that may have copper or gold in it. Gold contacts or silver perhaps, I don't know. I'm still learning a lot about these things. Another interesting board that came out of a phone system that was dumped there. And integrated circuits. I'm really curious about this part here. I'm not sure what it is. There may be something interesting in that, or maybe not. Contacts might be brass in here. I'm not sure. Another integrated circuit on the back side, and tinier things that contain metals, I suppose. But it's green on both sides, so I guess that'd be considered a high-grade board, just as this one. And another example of a couple of boards I got, which is green on both sides, high grade with some integrated chips. You can see they're probably pretty good. And here's another example of another board I got. And this silver piece here, that may be pretty good. There may be some good content in that, but again, it's a high-grade board since it's green on both sides, and there's more integrated circuits around the board. And also there were some vacuum cleaners. There's more out there, but I only took 2 today, and you can see the copper in the motors. Got this motor, pretty decent. Top of these, sorry about the camera there. The top of these are often aluminum. That's usually aluminum, actually, coming off of those. And I had pulled off, actually not the top, but what's underneath. Sorry, this area after you pull those off this is aluminum right here, and inside you've got the copper. And so there's 2 good motors there, fairly weighty. So those go into my motor pile, and I've got a pretty decent amount of them building up in the garage. So it sometimes pays to go out and help your community a little bit, get a nice little walk in the wilderness or wherever you happen to be. where people decide that they want to make it look worse than it ought to, and you can remove some of that. They also have lots of rustic wood and things like that that they'll dump for other projects if you're into woodworking, or I've been thinking about going over there and getting some wood, to make some musical instruments. But at any rate, this is my little example of part of the haul that I got today from an illegal dump site. And it pays to go out and see what you can find, because you can find quite a bit. I just felt like sharing that with you, and I guess that's all for now.